Anime just made more money than Tom Cruise this weekend. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle just opened to $70 million at the US box office. The last time any anime film came even remotely close to this amount of money was back in 1998. Can you guess what movie that was?
The first Pokemon movie ever.
Pikachu.
Not only did it break a 27-year-old record, but the opening was even bigger than some of summer's supposed blockbusters, including Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, not to mention some of these other films. So what are we seeing here? Is this a shift in the paradigm of what people want to go see at the movies? Because up to this point, anime was considered fairly niche, but an opening like this is kind of turning a lot of heads right now. Not only did it already have a built-in hardcore fan base with, fans of the Demon Slayer manga and anime, but all of this word of mouth was getting people who weren't even familiar with the manga or the anime or even anime in general to get out to the theater and experience this on the big screen for the first time. And maybe this is their gateway into experiencing more and more anime on their own time, Plus, it should be noted that this Demon Slayer movie is the first part of a trilogy, the next part in 2027, and then the final chapter in 2029. This movie made as much as it did this weekend in 2025. The amount of people who are going to be introduced to Demon Slayer, maybe start watching the anime, reading the manga, watching the movies. By the time we get to that third chapter in 2029, are we looking at 100+ domestic opening? If so, that would be huge and a major signal to the studios that maybe we got to shift some gears here. The past 20 years have been ruled primarily by the comic book movie. Could we be entering the era of the manga anime film? Especially with more and more audiences who grew up with anime now being the ones buying tickets and even, introducing their kids to it. Much in the way that back in the 90s, kids who grew up reading comic books were now adults and were taking their kids to go see, X-Men, Daredevil, Spider-Man. I saw tons of parents with their kids watching Demon Slayer Infinity Castle this weekend. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing a lot of mainstream studios picking up anime properties or even making live-action remakes of them. I know Netflix is already ahead of the curve with their One Piece series. They did Death Note. I just heard they're doing My Hero Academia. On that note, I wouldn't be surprised if they cast Tom Cruise as All Might in the MHA movie. I mean, best of both worlds, financially speaking, right? But what do you think? You think anime is going to get bigger here in the US? Or was this just kind of a one-time thing?